question to be asked by Natasha Asghar.
Very much, Presiding Officer. Deputy Minister, what action is the Welsh Government taking to encourage greener transport?
Thank you for the question. Our strategy for encouraging greener transport is clearly set out in Llwybr Newydd, the Wales Transport Strategy, which reiterates our determination to achieve more active travel, greater use of public transport and low-emissions vehicles, and creating closer links between land use planning and transport in line with the Clean Air Plan for Wales.
Thanks, Deputy Minister. I have a feeling you enjoyed that question. Surveys by the Federation of Small Businesses in Wales show that many firms are looking to adopt electric vehicles in the next 5 to 10 years, which is great news. However, at present, the cost of electric vehicles and the lack of charging infrastructure are key barriers to businesses wishing to decarbonise transport. This cost runs the risk of leaving small businesses out of the EV system, whereas larger organisations may have greater resources to include this new technology into their working environments. What plan do you have, Deputy Minister, to incentivise the shift to electric vehicles by introducing tax incentives or scrappage schemes, as have happened previously? Thanks.
Well, thank you for the important question. And clearly, we're in a transition from the internal combustion engine to electric cars, and the UK government have said by the end of the decade you won't be able to buy petrol or diesel cars. So this is a scheme that we need to work closely with the UK government on, because on your questions on scrappage schemes and tax incentives, that's clearly something the UK government needs to be doing, not something that we have the ability to do. But there are a range of things that we can do, and working with local authorities, we are about to publish our electric vehicle charging action plan in the coming weeks. And that sets out a series of practical things that we are doing. In terms of the point about the affordability of the vehicles and the availability currently of the infrastructure, clearly we are at the first wave of development. They are expensive because they are brand new cars. There's yet not a second-hand car market developed. So over time, that clearly will change. In terms of the charging infrastructure, Wales has got about 2% of the electric vehicles, and we've got about 3.5% of the public charging infrastructure. So as that demand curve sharpens, as it is showing increasing signs of doing, they clearly need to increase the charging infrastructure. But that's something that's going to be led by the private sector. The government doesn't provide petrol stations. I don't expect it to be providing electric charging at scale. What we should be focusing on is looking where the market is going to be failing, particularly for rural areas, just as we have with broadband, and doing an outside-in approach. So we absolutely have a role to play, but it's a role to play with many others.
Davis.
Could I first of all welcome the investment in that